Hello everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I have a crochet tutorial for you. So I'm going to show you how to make this poncho here. Now you can make it as long or as short as you'd like. And it's super cool because it's reversible. Isn't that neat? So you can do it solid if you want, of course. But it's got that it's a three-dimensional stitch there. And if you do it with two colors, you can make it reversible. So this would be the one side, and you can kind of see the other color peeking through, or you can flip it and use another color, however you'd like. I think it's neat. I like it a lot. Now that's me in the picture there, and you can see how long it is on me, and I'm 5'3", so feel free to make it longer if you choose. Now it is a 2-point poncho. So it's got the 2 points, front and the back point. The sides, they come down, probably a little longer than a normal 2-point poncho, I would imagine. But, I mean, it looks nice. I like it. I think it's cool. It's nice and thick, too, as well. I mean, yeah, it's a nice thick. It'd be nice and warm. You could go do anything around the neck that you chose if you want to put a collar on it, or, anything that you wanted to do, but it's really easy. Do you guys want to do it? Yeah? Alright, let's do it. I'm going to move this, okay? Now remember, I would not recommend adjusting the neck size, because even if you feel like it's small, it will definitely stretch by the weight of the poncho. If you want, the way to make a poncho bigger is just by adding some more rows will make it bigger. So for that particular poncho there, used Mary Maxim Starlet. It's a medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic yarn. You don't have to use this yarn. Any 4-weight yarn will work. Okay, so there's about 180 yards or 165 meters. So that was one, and the other one was a marled type yarn. This is also from Mary Maxim. It's their rag yarn. I think that's right. And it is as well a medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic, 216 yards per ball. So you're going to need about 600 yards of one color and 600 of another. If you want to do it solid, you're going to need about 1,200 yards to make it the size I did. If you want it longer, mine's not extremely long. It's up to you however you like it. Remember, you will need more yarn than what I mentioned. But yes, a 4-weight yarn is what you want to use. If you want to make it reversible, 2 colors, super cool. Alright, I'm going to set them to the side. Well, one of them, I'm going to use the other one. And we're going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Alright, I'm going to show you with a different color, because that dark brown is going to be hard to see. Alright, so you want to start off with a chain of 78 stitches. 78. And then we're going to form a ring with it, and that's going to be our neck, and then we'll work downward. So once you get your chain of 78, some people say they have a hard time getting the chain not to twist. So I'll show you. Just hold it where the front side of your chain is facing you, and in between your fingers, so it doesn't flip. Slide it down to the bottom. Make sure the front side is still facing you, and insert your hook into the last stitch of the chain, front side of the chain, and slip stitch it together. Like that. And now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to be working 1 single crochet in every stitch of the chain. So you want to go back into the same stitch that you just slip stitched into and single crochet. Now for those of you who have trouble with the chain twisting, the best advice I can give you, it's actually what I do, is you always just have to make sure when you do 1 single crochet in every stitch that you're consistently going through the front side of your chain. If you followed along your fingers like I did in the beginning, and you made sure that your chain didn't twist, the front side right now should be facing you all the way around. I know mine looks like it isn't, but it is. So what you do is, we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch. Just make sure that you're consistently going into the front side of your chain, working 1 single crochet. Don't let your chain flip to the back, because once it gets flipped to the back, then it twists. Even if you just get 1 stitch on the back and it flips back around to the front, it's going to be all messed up. So just consistently going through the front side of your chain like this, and then when you get back around, it won't be twisted. Work 1 single crochet in every stitch. And when you make it back around, we should still have 78 stitches. Just like that. Okay, I'll see you at the end of row 1. Alright, when you make it back around, and as I mentioned, you should have a total of 78 stitches. And you want to go ahead and slip stitch into the first one, and that will end row 1. This is very easy. It's just a 1 row repeat, so you do have to switch colors though every row, but we're going to keep this color on our hook for row 2. But before we do that, go ahead and pull your yarn up so you don't lose it. We're going to mark off where we need the point to be. So it has a back point where we just slip stitch. That's going to be our back point. If you want to put a marker there, you can. Here, I'll just do it just for the video. I'll put a marker there. So right where you just slip stitched into that stitch, that will be our back point. So the back point of the poncho. So put a marker into that stitch. Okay. I'm just going to use that piece of yarn there. Alright, now what you want to do is not counting that stitch there. You want to count over 39 stitches. Alright, so don't count the very first one that you just put a marker in. Alright, we don't count that one. But after that one, you start with number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. On the 39th stitch, you want to put a marker into that one. And that will be our front point, the 39th one. So just to be certain, take a quick count and make sure you have 38 stitches in between each of the markers on both sides, not counting the stitch that's marked. So not counting this one, and my gosh, and not counting this one. There, you should have 38 stitches on in between. 38 on this side, not counting the marked ones, and 38 on this side. All right, so that's what you need to have. Okay, and then we will go ahead and start row 2. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and begin. Now the points are made the same. And we're going to go ahead and work the back point here in the stitch that we marked. So you could take that marker out if you want. But you want to chain 1. And in the very first stitch here that we marked, the one that we slip stitched into, we're going to work 3 double crochets into it. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to chain 2. And we're going to go back into the same stitch again and work 3 more double crochets. So that's how every point is made on every row. The front and the back one are both made the same. 3 doubles, chain 2, and 3 doubles. Just like that. I'm going to take that out because that's annoying me. I hate stitch markers. All right, I don't usually use them. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start row 1. And we are going to put, we're going to skip 2, skip, and now we're going to start the repeat of row 1. In the next stitch, we're going to work 3 double crochets. So you skip 2, and we're going to work 3 doubles into the next. 1, 2, and there's 3. And then again, we're going to skip 2, skip, and work 3 doubles into the next. There's 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. Skip 2, skip, and 3 doubles into the next. And this is what we're going to repeat until we get down to the front point of our poncho where we marked off. Skip 2, skip 3 doubles, skip 3 doubles, and I'll keep doing that, and I'll meet back up with you. You should have 2 stitches left before your point, and I'll see you down here. Okay. All right, so I've made it down here to my front point, and you can see I have 2 stitches that remain before that. So in that stitch that are stitch markers, and I'm going to take the marker out. I'm going to do what we do every time we hit a point. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, go back into the same spot, and work 3 more double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. So now what we need to do is we just need to make this side match this side. So we'll start again. We're going to skip 2, skip, and put 3 double crochets into the next. So we're doing the same thing on this side that we did on the other. So these sides, you know, they just mirror each other. Skip 2 and 3. Did I say singles while ago? I'm sorry. 3 doubles into the next. Like that. And repeat. Skip 2 and 3 doubles into the next. And we're going to go ahead and repeat this until we get back around to our starting point. So we'll continue that until we make it up to here. Once we make it up to here, I'll show you how to end row 2, and row 3 will be our repeat row, like it's just a 1 row repeat. All right, so continue skipping 2 and putting 3 doubles into the next, and I will see you at the end of row 2. All right, I've made it to the end of row 2, and I have 2 stitches left before my beginning point, so I'm just going to skip those, and I'm going to end row 2 by slip stitching into the first double crochet of my first back point. Now, as I mentioned, to get this reversible, you need to change colors every row. So I'm just going to tie this off and switch colors, and like that. And another thing that you have to do is you have to turn your work around every single time. All right, so we're getting ready to start row 3. And row 3 is the repeat row. So here's the front side of row 2. I'm sorry, you should have 12 sets of 3 double crochets on each side, not counting the 2 of each point. Okay. So here's the right side of row 2. We just finished it. Now, every row, we have to turn our work around. So whenever you're working the back side like this, you'll be working your whatever color you're choosing. I know this don't match, but I'm just using it as an example. And then when I would finish row 3, I would just repeat row 3, but I would need to turn my work around. And whenever I'm on the front side, I will be using this color again. And then I would have to turn back around on the next row and use my other color. And when I turn back around in the front, I'll always be using this color. So you have to make sure that you turn every row. So for row 3 is the repeat row, and I turned my work here, so I'm on the back side of my work now. So that's a very important part that you have to remember. Okay, and then you want to start your yarn in the chain 2 space here of the back point. So, and then in that chain 2 space, we are going to chain 1, and we're going to do every point's the same. 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to go back in that same spot, chain 2 space, and work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and there's 3. Alright, now when working this row, remember it is the repeat row, regardless of whether you're working on the front or the back. When you're in the when you start it off and you do your 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, we do not work in this set right here. This very first set, that is part of the point. When you first start the row, don't work in that, okay? What we're going to do is chain 2. We're going to come over here to this next set of 3 double crochets, and we're going to work a back post double crochet around the first double of this group of 3. Okay, not this one, but this one. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to, it's easiest, I think, if you take your work and you flip it like this a little bit to the, like that. And you want to do a back post double, but you want to start from the bottom of that first double crochet and work 3 back post double crochets around it, starting from the bottom, and work your way up the post. So what I mean by that is your first back post double crochet, make it like that. And then the next one's going to go above that one. It's going around the same post though. Just 2. And then your last one will go above that one. And that is 3. And you flip your work back around to the side that you're working. And that's how that's done. That's what we're going to repeat. So we're going to chain 2 again. Chain 2. And we're going to come over here to our next group of 3. And in the first double crochet of the group of 3, we're going to work 3 back posts, a double crochet around it. Like I said, it's always kind of easier if you just flip it around like this. And go around the post of that first double of that group of 3. And a back post double 3 times, starting at the bottom of the post and working your way up. So there's 1, and then the next back post double will go above it, and then the third one will go on top of that one, just like that. Flip it back over, and there you go. Now we're going to chain 2 and repeat. Here's our next group. We always work in the first double crochet, okay? Always the first one. 3 back post double crochets around it, and it's always 3 back post double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and repeat. Jump to our next group of 3 right here. Always the first double. Always working 3 back post double crochets around it. There's 1, 2, and 3. So, and then after that, then you chain 2 and repeat. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern. There we go. So there's one side, and now you can see what it looks like on the other side. When you get more rows, it will start to look like this on the other side as well. But I'm going to go ahead and repeat that, and I'm going to meet back up with you near the point, okay? Remember, we are working 3 back post double crochets in the first double crochet of each of these sets of 3, and we chain 2 in between them. All right, so I'm coming to the point down here. Now here's something else that's very important that you remember. Remember when we started and we were at the back point, and I said that we do not work into these 3 double crochets here of the previous point. When you get to the front point, you do work into this double crochet of this set of 3. And then you make your point, but you do not work in this set. All right? So I'm at the front point. I'm going to chain 2 after my last set of 3 back post double crochets. And whenever you're at the front point, it's always the same. You always work into the first double crochet of the group of 3 on this side of your point. All right, and you work your 3 back post double crochets around that. 1, 2, and 3, and then you want to chain 2 like always. And now we're going to work into the chain 2 space and work our point, which is always the same. 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then you have to chain 2, and at the front point is where we're at. We do not work in any of these. We start our first double crochet over here. Now if you look at it as like this side is mirroring this side, which it is, so what you're doing is actually kind of starting over what you just did. So we're not working, so when we started on this side, we didn't work in this set right here. We left that bare. So we're not going to work in this set. So always remember, when you do the front point, you work in the first double crochet of the set on this side when you get to it, but when you come to the other side, you don't work in this set. It starts here in the first double crochet here, just like it did at the beginning of the last point. All right, so we're going to work 3 back post double crochets around this one. I know that seems confusing, but really it's not. You'll get the hang of it. You'll see that it has like a little pattern to it. There's 3, chain 2. So I'm just going to repeat what I did on the other side, working 3 back post double crochets around the first double crochet of each group of 3, and I'm chaining 2 in between them. And we're going to do this until we get to the back point where we started. First double crochet, and you need to do 3 back posts around it. Just like that. Sorry about my dogs. And then you chain 2 and repeat. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and see you at the end of row 3, and I'm going to show you how we finish row 3 off. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 3, which is the repeat row. And I just did 3 back post doubles around this set of 3. I'm going to chain 2, and now we are going to put 3 back post double crochets in this side of the point section from the previous row. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to work 3 back post double crochets around this one. 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 2, and we are going to end row 3 by slip stitching into the first double crochet of our first point. And if you do not count the sets of 3 doubles that that count for the point. If you do not count these in the front nor the back, you'll have 13 now new sets on each side of 3 double crochets. All right, now we want to tie this off, because we have to, if we want to make it reversible, we got to switch colors. And what we're going to do is just keep repeating row 3. So tie that off, clip my work, and I want to bring in the other color. And remember, every time you got to turn your work. So now I'm on this side of my work, bringing in my first color. Okay, and we're just going to repeat what we just did. We're starting the chain 2 space here. We're at a back point, and in that chain 2 space we work what we always work, which is 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 more doubles. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now, is this a repeat of what we just did? So whenever you're on the back point, always remember the back. When you start out, you don't work in the 3 double crochets that made the previous point. When you end at the back, you do work in that 1 double. Okay, so when you start in the back, you don't work in this one, but when you finish in the back, you do. Same goes for the front point. When you get to the front point, here's the front point. When you get to it, you do work in this first double crochet, but when you make it around to the other side, you don't work in it. All right, do, don't. This is the front. You get to the front, you do work in this double crochet, but you don't work in this one. And in the back, it's opposite. All right, you start out by don't working in it, and then you finish by do working in that. All right, you'll get it. So now we're just going to repeat what we just did. So we turned our work. We started with 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Now we have to chain 2, and remember, we're not going to work. We don't work in these 3 here, starting in the back. So you want to work in the one in the back, which is this one right back here. So you want to make sure this chain 2 space is in the front. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to work 3 back post double crochets. Here's the doubles from the previous row around the very back one. So this one here. You can flip it, your work again, just like we did before. If it's easier, kind of flip it to the front, and then you can see it right there. There it is. So it's always the first double crochet. Then we do 3 back posts. 1, 2, 3, and then we chain 2. And flip it over. You can see it's that the chain 2 spaces in the front, like that's what it needs to be. Now we're going to jump to our next set of 3. If you kind of just smash it down, you need to go to the one that's in the back there, and you need to work a back post double crochet around it. Make sure this chain 2, I'm sorry, is in the front. So what I like to do, once I find the back, the first one, which is actually in the back, I guess now, flip it like that, and then go around it. It's the first double, but it's kind of set in the back now. And you work 3 back post double crochet around it. 1, 2, 3, and we chain 2, and then we go to the next one. So we're repeating row 3. I guess we're still working in the first double crochet, but it's kind of set in the back. You know what I mean? So this one right back here, we always work in that one back there. And 3 back post double crochet around it. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, If you work it back around, and you can see, and that's what it's starting to look like. And don't worry, it'll start to take effect here as you get more rows on it. Again, this one right here is, it's just because they're along this side, but it's the first one, but actually the one that's kind of set in the back. 3 back post double crochets around it. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and repeat. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern until we get to the next point down here. All right. I will show you a little trick if you're having trouble finding what stitch that you need to work in. If you just kind of flip it up like this and work along the top, it's a lot easier versus working it the way that working it like this. If you kind of, like I said, flip it up to where you're working across the top of the stitches there, it's easier to find. It's just the first double crochet at the top here of the group, and you just kind of pull it up and you work 3. You're working back post double crochets around it. It's just easier to go kind of at an angle like that, I think, but whatever is easiest for you. And then you chain 2, and the next one right here, it's that one right there at the top, first one. But if you flip it back to the right side, you can see it's the one, always the same. It's the one we've been going into, but working it on the top here, it's just quicker, easier. Well, maybe not for everybody, but chain 2, and then you go to your next set. It's always this one right here on the top. So you can do it either way. You can do it like this. This is what's easiest for me, but what's easy for me may not be easy for you. Kind of just working along the top like I am. Or you can go back to the way that we were doing it, the way I showed you in the beginning. And you find your set of 3 there, and it's always this one back here. And you work 3 back post doubles around it, and then make sure you chain 2 in between them, which I just about didn't do. You got it, don't worry. It becomes extremely easy. You'll get it down and see that it's just an easy 1 row repeat. I didn't chain 2. Yeah, easy 1 row repeat, and then I just forget to chain 2. Here I'm almost to my point, so I'm coming up on my front point. Chain 2. Got 1 more before I reach my front point. Now remember what we do in the front point. Chain 2. When you get to the front point, here it is. So we're just going to work 3 back post double around that first double crochet, because we're at the front point. On this side of the front point, it gets 3 back posts, and then you chain 2, and then you work into the point, and you make your 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. There's 3, chain 2, go back in and work 3 more. And you have to chain 2, and then we're just going to make this side match this side. So we're at the front point. We do not work in this one on this side, okay? we start over here, just like we did on the inside, and we go right here. This is actually the first double, but it's kind of set in the back. Now if you want to work across the top like I showed you, you can, or you can work it the other way, but we're just going to repeat this until we get to the end. This is row 4, and we're just repeating what we did on row 3. It's just, I guess it looks different because these are on, like flipped on their side now, but it's still the 3 back posts around that double crochet. All right, I'm going to continue. Chain 2, jump to your next one, 3 back post doubles, or if you flip your work like I do, it's this top double right up here, first double. Make sure you chain 2 in between them. Chain 2. Alright, so I've made it to my back point. And remember, whenever we come to the back point, we do work on this side, okay? When we start the back point, we don't. When we end it, we do. So I chain 2, and I'm gonna go ahead and do back post 3 back post doubles around that first double there. Oops. Two, 3, I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to end by slip stitching into the first double crochet of our first point, and that will end row 4, which was a repeat. Tie off, and you got to switch colors again. That's what we're going to keep doing. We're just going to keep repeating that. So we're on row 5 now, I do believe. Yeah, we're gonna restart row 5. Gotta turn your work. Now we're on the back side, and you start right here with your other color. 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, and then you chain 2. We do not work here on this side when we start, but we do work here when we finish. And then we're just working in the 3 back post doubles around this double right here. Maybe you can flip your work to the top. It's easier that way, I think, to see. Chain 2, 3 back posts, chain 2, 3 back posts around this one, chain 2, 3 back posts around that one, chain 2, or you can do it this way. 3 back posts around this one, chain 2, 3 back posts around this one, chain 2. Make sure you leave those chains in the front. 3 back posts, chain 2, just like that, till you make it over here to the front point. And always at the front point on this side you do go through, or 3 back posts around this. On this side you do not. Alright, and then when you end it, we always do end with 3 back posts on this side, on the back point. Alright, I hope that all makes sense. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. But that's it. You just keep repeating those rows until you get it. It'll look more 3D when you get more rows on it. Yeah, you just keep repeating that one row. And after a while, it starts to look really stinking cool. Look at that. Now you can make it as long as you want. Alright, I believe mine is from the bottom point down about 26 inches. You do yours as big as you'd like. Now you can see, like, during the center of it, you can see the opposite color pretty well. It does show that. It's pretty cool though. I like it. Now, when you're done, like I said in the beginning, you can go around the neck and with something if you want, but that's completely up to you. But that's it. That's all there is to it. It's really nice and poofy and thick. I like it. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Remember, it's not confusing. Once you get to going, you make it as long as you want. I told you how long mine was. Once you get to going, you'll be flying through it. It doesn't really take, you know, much time at all. And then you get this really cool 3D reversible poncho. So, if you make it, don't forget to show me a picture on my Bag-O-Day Crochet Facebook page. Yeah? Alright. And if you have any questions about it, that's the best place to get your questions answered. And don't forget to check out my other tutorials as well. Alright? I'll see you on my next one. Oh, hit that thumbs up too. Bye, guys. Take care.